You're not invited for Christmas, my mom casually announced. Then forget about my $8,000, I fired back. I'm sprawled across my beat-up futon, listening to mid-November wind rattle the cheap windows of my tiny studio apartment when my phone buzzes. I glance at the screen. Mom. My thumb hovers over decline, but old habits die hard, and I answer. Hey, Jake, she says, sounding weirdly cheerful, like she's about to share a cookie recipe or something. We're keeping Christmas low-key this year. You're not coming. It'll keep things chill for Tyler. Her words hit me like a ton of bricks. I bolt upright, the ancient futon groaning beneath me, and stare at my chipped mug of instant coffee. What? I manage to croak out. Oh, she continues, breezy as anything. Tyler's been super stressed lately. He needs a quiet holiday, and well, it's just better this way. Better? My chest tightens, and I feel that familiar fire of anger spark deep in my gut. Tyler, my 34-year-old older brother, the golden child who can do no wrong in their eyes, the one they've babied through every screw-up while I've been the responsible one, the fixer, at 29. I grip my mug so hard the heat burns my palm. You're serious? You're actually cutting me out of Christmas? She laughs, this soft, dismissive sound that makes my blood boil. Don't be so dramatic, Jake. It's just one day. Tyler's been through a lot, you know how he gets. The spark becomes a flame. I set my mug down hard, coffee sloshing onto the scratched wood. Through a lot? What about me? She sighs, that familiar, exasperated sigh she uses to dodge anything real. Let's not make this a whole thing, okay? We'll see you after. The line goes dead, leaving me staring at my phone while the wind howls outside. I toss my phone onto the futon and stand up, pacing the tiny space between my kitchenette and window. The storm's picking up outside, rattling the glass, but it's nothing compared to the hurricane brewing inside me. I stop at the sink, white-knuckling the edge, and mutter to my empty apartment. Unbelievable. The space heater hums in the corner, barely taking the edge off the chill in my bones. I grab my laptop from the cluttered shelf, nearly knocking over a stack of unopened bills, and flop back onto the futon. The screen glows as I pull up the mortgage account. Their mortgage account. My name's on it. My login. My payments. I scroll through the history. $660 wired every month. $8,000 this year alone. 2 years of this crap, ever since Tyler's craft beer empire crashed and burned, taking their savings with it. 25 grand down the drain on hops and bad decisions, and I'd stepped in because they couldn't lose the house. My call center job, endless hours of headset static and dealing with angry customers, pays for this, while my car's heater is busted and I can't even afford to fix it. I call Mom back, my pulse pounding in my ears. She picks up on the third ring. Jake, I said we'll talk later. She starts, but I cut her off. $8,000, Mom. This year. 2 years straight for your mortgage. And you're kicking me out of Christmas for Tyler? My voice shakes, raw and jagged. There's a pause, then that sigh again, long and practiced. You wanted to help, Jake. Don't make it a thing. I laugh, sharp and bitter, the sound bouncing off my peeling walls. Wanted to? I've been bailing you out since Tyler tanked your life. I skip oil changes so you can have a roof. She doesn't even flinch. Tyler's fragile right now. That bar failing really hit him hard. He needs us, me and your dad, to keep him steady. You're tougher, Jake. You always have been. The words land like a brick, heavy and cold. Tougher. That's what they call it when I work doubles to cover their mess while Tyler sulks over his latest flop. Fragile? I snap, standing again, my boots thudding on the thin carpet. I'm breaking my back here. I've paid for your heat, your lights, everything while he sits there whining. Jake, she says, firmer now, this isn't about money. It's about family. Tyler's in a bad place. We need to focus on him. My jaw clenches so tight I feel it in my temples. Focus on him, I repeat slowly. So I'm not family? 2 years, 16 grand total, and I'm not worth a seat at the table? She hesitates, then says, You're twisting this. It's one holiday. You'll be fine. The dismissal stings worse than the exclusion, like I'm just a utility bill they can skip when it's inconvenient. I pace again, the laptop screen glaring at me, the payment history a neon sign of my stupidity. You know what, Mom? I've been fine. I've been fine working nights, eating ramen, driving a freezing car, all for you and Tyler. What's he done lately except drain you dry? She huffs, irritation creeping in. He's trying, Jake. He's got plans. You wouldn't understand. Like the bar. Like the DJ gig that lasted a week. Like every half-baked scheme he's peddled while I've kept them afloat. The line crackles with awkward silence as I stop by the window, watching the first snowflakes dust the streetlights. I've paid for your house, I say, my voice low but sharp as a knife. $8,000 this year, and you're telling me I'm out because Tyler's stressed? She doesn't answer right away, then mutters, "Let's not do this now. We appreciate it, but Christmas is about him this time." I scoff, the sound harsh in my throat. Appreciate it, right. I jab the end call button, and the phone skids across the cushion. The snow's falling faster now, blanketing the world outside, but inside I'm burning up. They've made their choice. Tyler's comfort over my sacrifice. I glare at the laptop, the mortgage portal still open, and feel something shift inside me. If I'm not family enough for Christmas, they can damn well figure out how to pay for their precious holiday glow without me. The snow's coming down thick now, a white shroud over the street outside my window, but I barely notice. I'm hunched over my laptop, the mortgage portal glaring back at me. My finger hovers over the mouse, the cursor blinking on pause automatic payments. Mom's voice echoes in my head. It's about family. Tyler needs us. My stomach churns. Family? I've been their lifeline, not their son, and they've tossed me aside like yesterday's trash. I click the button. A pop-up confirms the change, effective December 1st, 3 weeks before Christmas. The screen shifts to payment paused, and a cold, hard satisfaction settles over me, heavier than the blanket of snow outside. I lean back, the futon groaning under my weight, and rub my face. The apartment's quiet except for the space heater's hum and the faint whistle of wind sneaking through the window frame. My mind replays the past 2 years. Tyler swaggering into Mom and Dad's kitchen, bragging about his bar opening with all its sleek logos and overpriced IPAs. They clapped him on the back, Mom beaming like he'd cured cancer, Dad nodding along, even as I sat there silently wiring another payment from my phone under the table. Then the crash. $225,000 of their retirement savings gone in 6 months. The bar shuttered, and Tyler whined about market trends. I'd stepped up, no questions asked, because the house was all they had left. My overtime checks kept the lights on, the roof intact, while he nursed his ego with craft beer leftovers. I stand, restless, and grab a soda from the fridge. The cold aluminum bites into my palm as I pop it open. Taking a swig, I pace to the window. The streetlights blur through the snowfall, and I picture their house. Cozy, cluttered, the one I've paid to keep standing. Mom's probably knitting by the fireplace now, Dad flipping through the paper, Tyler sprawled on the couch scrolling through his phone. They don't even know what's coming. I've been the invisible glue, and they've cut me out because Tyler's stressed. Stressed from what? Failing again? I've been stressed clocking out at midnight, dodging repo threats on my own car, but that doesn't count to them. The soda fizzes against my tongue, sharp and bitter, matching the taste in my mouth. I set it down and drop back onto the futon, pulling the laptop closer. I dig into the account details. Every payment timestamped, my name next to each one. I've called the bank for them, haggled over late fees, set up the autopay because Dad couldn't figure out the app, and Mom just said, "You're so good with this, Jake." Good with it? I've been good with bleeding my account dry while Tyler's plans get the spotlight. The bar was just the latest. Before that, it was the DJ stint, the vape shop idea. All flops they excused because he's their dreamer. I scroll back to last December, $660 sent the day after Christmas. My gift to them, while they fawned over Tyler's hangover tales from his networking party. I smiled, said nothing, and worked New Year's Eve to cover it. Now they're planning a calm Christmas without me, like I'm the chaos. My jaw tightens and I mutter, "Calm, huh?" The snow's piling up out there, a storm brewing that'll bury the city soon. I imagine their house going dark, the heat fading, the bank notices stacking up. They've leaned on me so long they forgot I could let go. I close the laptop with a snap, the sound sharp in the stillness. My breath fogs in the dim light, not from cold, but from the heat of this moment. I've poured everything into them: money, time, my own damn stability. And they've repaid me with a shrug and a locked door. Let's see how calm it is without my $8,000, I say aloud, my voice steady, cutting through the quiet. The confirmation email pings my phone. Payment paused, effective December 1st. 3 weeks to Christmas. 3 weeks till they feel the weight of their choice. I lean my head back, eyes on the ceiling's water stain, and let that satisfaction sink deep. They've picked Tyler's fragile ego over me one too many times. This time, I'm picking myself. The storm outside growls louder and I smirk, knowing theirs is just beginning. December rolls in like a freight train, snow stacking high against my apartment building. The streets outside a mess of slush and ice. I'm at work, hunched over a headset in the call center, fielding complaints about delayed packages while the clock ticks past midnight. My phone buzzes in my pocket. Mom again. I ignore it, focusing on the irate voice in my ear, but when the call ends, I check the message. Jake, the mortgage didn't go through. Bank says it's late. Fix it. My lips twitch into a smirk, faint but real, as I shove the phone back and grab the next call. Fix it. Like I'm their tech support, not the guy they axed from Christmas. The next day, I'm hauling boxes in the warehouse, overtime to cover my own rent now that their house isn't sucking me dry. My hands are numb, the cold seeping through my gloves when my phone pings again. It's Dad this time, a voicemail. Jake, we've got late fees piling up. Pay it now. What's wrong with you? His tone sharp, like I've spilled coffee on his paper, not pulled the plug on their free ride. I delete it, stacking a crate of canned goods, the metal clinking like my resolve. The payment's been off for a week, and they're already scrambling. Good. By midweek, I'm thawing out in my apartment, sipping warm tea, when I get a notification. Tyler's posted on social media. Some people are too selfish to care about family, he writes, tagging me in big, bold letters. I click through, jaw tight, and see the comments roll in. His buddies calling me a deadbeat, a leech, one even saying, "Hope you're proud ruining Christmas." My stomach twists, hot and sour, but I don't respond. He's turned it public, painting me as the villain while he plays the victim. I scroll through his profile, pics of him at a bar last night, grinning with a pint, not a care in the world. Meanwhile, I'm here with my boots still damp from the loading dock. I toss the phone onto the futon and pace, the floor creaking under me, the space heaters humming, but I feel the chill anyway, not from the air, but from Tyler's cheap shot. He's got no idea I've been their bankroll. Or maybe he does and just doesn't care. Mom's text comes next. Jake, why is the payment stopped? Call the bank. I ignore it, grabbing a stale bagel from the counter and tearing into it. Let them figure it out. The snow's relentless outside, burying cars in drifts, and I picture their mailbox filling with bank notices, their cozy denial cracking. Friday night, I'm at the corner store picking up milk and bread when Dad calls again. I let it go to voicemail, paying the cashier as she chats about the storm. Back home, I play it. Jake, this is serious, $200 in fees already. Turn it back on. His voice cracks, anger tinged with something else. Panic, maybe. I drop the groceries on the counter and lean against it, staring at the wall. $200 bucks? Pocket change compared to the $8,000 I've shelled out this year, but enough to rattle them. Feel it yet? I mutter to my empty room, a grim edge to my voice. Saturday morning, I'm sweeping snow off my walkway, breath fogging in the frigid air, when my phone buzzes again. Mom texting, Jake, we're at 15 days late. What's happening? 15 days. The bank's probably sent a warning letter by now, red ink and bold threats. I keep sweeping, the scrape of the shovel loud against the quiet. Tyler's post has 50 likes, his chorus of clowns piling on, but I don't care. Let him spin his tail. They don't know I've been the one holding the house together while he's chased pipe dreams. By Sunday, the calls stack up. 3 from Dad, 2 from Mom. I'm frying an egg, the sizzle drowning out the buzz, when I check the latest. Dad's voicemail barking, "Pay it, Jake, this isn't a game." I flip the egg, yolk breaking, and smirk. Not a game? They made it one when they picked Tyler sulking over my sweat. The storm's easing outside, but their mess is just starting. I sit with my plate, The warmth of the food, a stark contrast to the ice I've set loose miles away. They've got no clue how deep this goes, how long I've carried them, but they're about to learn $8,000 doesn't vanish without consequences. I chew slowly, the phone silent for now, and wait for the next crack to show. Christmas Eve slams into the city with an ice storm, the kind that turns power lines into glass and streets into skating rinks. I'm in my apartment flipping a burger on the stovetop, the sizzle filling the quiet while sleet pelts the windows. My phone's a war zone. 15 missed calls, half from mom, half from dad, a barrage of texts lighting up the screen. I glance at the latest, mom's voice cracking in a voicemail. Jake, the bank's threatening foreclosure. It's 30 days late. Please do something. 30 days. A month without my money, and their house is teetering. I slide the burger onto a plate, ketchup pooling red, and feel a dark, steady calm. They're feeling it now. I'm mid-bite when another text lands. Mom again. Tyler took our savings. $2,000 all we had left. He said it's for rent at his girlfriend's. We're broke, Jake. I freeze, burger halfway to my mouth, and let out a low, jagged laugh. $2,000, money I'd helped scrape back after his bar fiasco. Gone in a snap because Tyler's playing house? He's not just a leech, he's a thief. I set the plate down, wiping grease on my jeans, and picture him smirking, tossing cash like it's his while they beg me to fix his mess. Again. My calm sharpens into something colder, harder. The phone buzzes nonstop. Dad now. Jake, where are you? Bank's calling daily. I ignore it, grabbing a beer from the fridge, the cold glass slick against my palm. I crack it open, the hiss cutting through the storm's howl, and take a long pull. Foreclosure. It's not just late fees anymore. It's real. I've seen the notices pile up in my mind's eye. Stern letters, deadlines in bold, their cozy little world unraveling. They thought I'd cave, that I'd keep bailing them out. Not this time. The beer's bitter, matching the taste of their betrayal. Around 8 p.m., the doorbell jars me from my thoughts. A harsh buzz against the storm's roar. I peer through the peephole. Dad, hunched under his parka, hood crusted with ice, face flushed red. I crack the door, warm air spilling out, and lean against the frame, beer in hand. Jake, he snaps, breath fogging, and bursts in. The mortgage is a month late. Bank's ready to take the house. Turn it back on now. His eyes are wild, fury and fear tangled up, but I don't flinch. You kicked me out of Christmas, I say, voice flat, steady. Said Tyler needed calm. I figured you didn't need me for anything else. He blinks, snow shaking loose from his sleeves, and his mouth twists. That was one day. Tyler's struggling. Your mom's a wreck over this. I step forward, cutting him off, the cold biting my face, but not my resolve. One day, I paid $8,000 this year, $16,000 over 2, while Tyler's struggling cost you everything. You picked him. Now you're broke. He flails, voice rising over the wind. He took the savings, Jake. We've got nothing. Foreclosure's next week if you don't fix this. I sip the beer, slow and deliberate, meeting his glare. Not my problem. You've got a phone, call the bank, sell something, figure it out. His jaw drops, then clamps shut, teeth grinding. You're heartless, he spits, fists balling up. We're losing it all. I shrug, the motion small but final. You lost me first. Happy Christmas, Dad. I shut the door, the lock clicking sharp, and his shouts fade into the storm as his truck rumbles to life, tires crunching ice. Back inside, I drop onto the futon, burger cold on the counter, and check my phone. Mom's latest. Jake, it's unbearable. Help us. Then Tyler, a text dripping venom. You're trash, ruining us. I smirk, setting the beer down, and mute the notifications. The apartment's warm, the heaters hum a quiet victory, while outside the ice coats everything in a glassy tomb. They're huddled in that house, probably under blankets, cursing me as the bank's axe looms. Tyler's theft. Their choice. It's all crashing down, and I'm here, eating alone, free of their weight. I finish the burger, the taste sharp with ketchup and defiance, and let the storm rage on. Tomorrow's Christmas, their calm holiday, and I've given them the gift they earned. A reckoning. The ice storm fades by Christmas morning, leaving the city brittle and quiet. But my phone's still a battlefield. 20 missed calls by noon, texts stacking up like snowdrifts. I'm sipping coffee, black and strong, when my buddy Mike calls from the diner. "Jake, your family's imploding," he says, voice thick with amusement. "Heard from my sister they're freaking out. Foreclosure's looming. Tyler split with that cash." I grin, the mug warm in my hands. "Took $2,000 and ran, huh? Sounds about right." Mike laughs. "Yeah, your mom's hitting up every cousin for loans. It's a circus." I lean against the counter, the apartment's heat wrapping around me like a shield. Outside, the streets glisten with melting ice, but their world is still frozen solid. Later, I scroll through social media. Tyler's post has backfired. A few relatives chiming in. "Wait, Jake paid the mortgage? Where's Tyler with the savings?" His victim act is crumbling, and I don't lift a finger to stop it. Mom's next voicemail comes soft, hesitant. "Jake, we miss you. The house, it's bad. Can we talk?" I delete it, stirring sugar into a second cup, the spoon clinking against ceramic. Miss me now, do they? By New Year's, Mike swings by with burgers, plopping onto my futon with a grin. "Update. Your dad's selling his old truck to dodge the bank. Cousin Lisa says it's 45 days late. Foreclosure's set for January." I nod, biting into the burger, grease dripping onto the plate. "And Tyler?" Mike snorts. "Bolted to his girlfriends. Left them high and dry." I chew slowly, picturing Dad haggling in the cold, Mom wringing her hands. They're scrambling, and I'm here, steady, my rent paid, my heat humming. It's not joy I feel, just a quiet, solid relief. The calls taper off mid-January, but a text from my cousin Zoe lands one night. "Jake, they're screwed. 60 days late. Mom's crying to Aunt Jen. Dad's begging neighbors for cash." I'm at work, headset off, staring at the screen between calls. 60 days. The bank's not bluffing now. Repossession's close. I lean back, the chair creaking, and mutter, "They built that hole. No one's bailing them out this time. Not me, not anyone." Tyler's theft and their blind loyalty dug it deeper, and I'm done shoveling. That night, I'm sprawled on the futon, TV droning some cop show, when Mom tries again. Voicemail. "Jake, please, we're desperate." Her voice trembles, but I hit delete, flipping channels. Desperate is what they chose when they locked me out for Tyler's sake. The apartment's warm, my coffee's fresh, and their chaos feels miles away, a faint echo I don't need to hear. I've carried them long enough. 2 years, $16,000, my own life on hold. Now I'm living mine. The TV flickers, sirens wailing, and I sip my drink, letting their mess fade into static. They'll sink or swim, but I'm not the lifeguard anymore. March creeps in, the snow melting into muddy puddles outside my window, but their mess sticks like damp rot. I'm splitting logs for my fire pit, axe sinking into wood with a clean crack, when my phone buzzes. Mike again. "Jake, they're done," he says, chuckling. "Bank's foreclosing, 90 days late. Tyler's couch surfing at some dive. Mom's in a cheap motel. Dad's selling junk at flea markets." I stack the split pieces, wiping sweat from my brow. "Figures," I say, voice even. They picked their hill. The air's crisp, spring edging in, and I feel lighter than I have in years. Later, I'm sipping tea on the futon when the doorbell rings. I peek out. Mom, coat threadbare, eyes hollow, snow melt dripping from her boots. I crack the door, leaning against the frame, warmth spilling past me. "Jake," she says, voice shaky. "We're losing the house next week. Tyler's gone, took off after New Year's. We were wrong." I swirl the tea, steam curling up, and meet her gaze. "Wrong? 2 years, $16,000, Mom. $8,000 this year alone. You didn't see me till I stopped paying." She steps closer, hands twisting together. "We didn't realize how much you did. Tyler, we thought he'd come around. Can we fix this?" I shake my head, slow and firm. "You fixed it when you chose him over me. I'm warm now. You figure it out." Her face crumples, but I shut the door, the lock clicking soft and final. Her footsteps fade, swallowed by the slushy street, and I settle back, tea hot against my lips. No guilt, just quiet. Mike's last update comes over beers at the diner, fries cooling between us. "They're toast," he grins. "All gone. Mom's begging Aunt Sue. Dad's down to a toolbox and a lawnmower. Tyler's whining online. Nobody's buying it." I smirk, clinking my bottle against his. "They built that wreck. I just stopped holding it up." He laughs, raising his drink. "To freedom, man." The glasses chime and I nod. The weight of their chaos gone, replaced by something solid, me standing tall. April dawns. Sun cutting through the grime on my windows. I'm at the fire pit, flames licking the logs, smoke rising against a clear sky. They're out there somewhere, scattered, shivering in the fallout. But I'm here, free. 2 years of my life, my cash, my sweat, and they traded it for Tyler's delusions. Now I've got my own heat, my own peace. The fire crackles, and I let their story burn away, ash in the wind. It's been 3 months since I've heard anything directly from them. Mom stopped calling after that visit. Dad's number went dead, probably couldn't pay the bill, and Tyler's social media has gone quiet. The relatives have stopped giving updates too. Everyone's moved on to fresher drama. Sometimes I scroll past old family photos, their faces frozen in happier times, before Tyler's bar disaster, before I became their ATM. I don't feel the sting anymore, just a dull recognition like looking at strangers in an old yearbook. Last week I got a promotion at work, shift supervisor with a decent bump in pay. First thing I did was schedule that car repair I'd been putting off for 2 years. The heat blasts warm now as I drive. No more shivering through winter commutes. Mike thinks I should start dating again, says I've been financially married to my family too long. Maybe he's right. There's a new barista at the coffee shop who smiles when I come in, remembers my order. Simple things that seemed impossible when every spare dollar went to their mortgage. My apartment doesn't feel so cramped anymore. I've added a few things, a decent armchair, some art for the walls, plants that don't die within a week. Small upgrades that make the place feel mine, not just a crash pad between shifts. The $666 that used to vanish each month now builds in my savings account. I've got almost 3 months' worth of expenses tucked away. My first real safety net. The statement arrives, and instead of dread, I feel a quiet pride looking at the numbers climbing. It's a random Tuesday evening when I run into Aunt Jenna at the grocery store. She spots me in the produce section, weighing apples, and hesitates before approaching. "Jake," she says, voice careful. "Haven't seen you in ages." I nod, dropping the apples in my basket. "Been busy. How's things?" She shifts her weight, eyes darting to the floor, then back to me. "They're adjusting." "Your parents, I mean. Got a small apartment across town. Your dad's working at the hardware store now." I keep my face neutral. "Good for him." "Tyler's in Nevada," she continues. "Construction job or something." She pauses, watching me. They don't talk about Christmas anymore. A strange feeling washes over me. Not satisfaction exactly, not guilt either. Something in between, like watching the final scene of a movie I already know the ending to. "Neither do I say, and mean it." We chat about her kids for a minute, then part ways in the cereal aisle. I finish my shopping without rushing, the weight of their story no longer mine to carry. At home, I unpack groceries, making space in a fridge that's actually full now. My phone pings. A text from Mike about weekend plans, a concert downtown, normal stuff, friend stuff, the kind of life I'd put on hold. I send back a thumbs up and grab a beer, stepping out onto my small balcony. The spring evening is mild, neighbors grilling somewhere nearby, the scent of charcoal drifting up. I take a long pull from the bottle and let myself exhale fully. It's been 6 months now. 6 months since I stopped being their financial life support. 6 months of rebuilding what I let slide while carrying them. My back doesn't ache like it used to from those warehouse double shifts. My sleep's deeper, uninterrupted by 3 a.m. panic about bills. Sometimes I wonder if they ever really understood what I did for them, or if they just saw the payments as their due, the responsible son handling things while the troubled one got all the attention. Maybe they still don't get it. Maybe they never will. But that's not my problem anymore. The next day, I'm filing paperwork at the office when my phone rings. Unknown number. Normally, I'd let it go to voicemail, but something makes me answer. Hello? Jake? It's Dad. His voice different, subdued, lacking that entitled edge I'd grown so used to. It's me. I lean back in my chair, tension creeping into my shoulders. What do you need? He clears his throat. Nothing. I'm not calling for anything. Just checking in. The words hang there, unfamiliar in their simplicity. Not a demand, not a guilt trip, just checking in. I'm fine, I say, guard still up. Working. You? Started at Hanson's Hardware 2 months ago. Not much, but it's something. He pauses. Your mom's got a part-time thing at the library. I wait for the ask, the subtle pivot to needing help, but it doesn't come. That's good, I say finally, when the silence stretches too long. Yeah. Another pause. Tyler's out west somewhere, doesn't call much. I almost laugh at the irony but hold it back. Not surprised. Dad sighs, a weary sound. We were wrong, Jake, about Christmas, about everything. I know that doesn't fix anything, but we were wrong. The admission hangs between us, unexpected and insufficient, but real. It doesn't erase 2 years of being their personal bank, doesn't undo the betrayal of choosing Tyler's comfort over my presence. But it's something I never thought I'd hear. Yeah, I say. You were. He doesn't argue or defend, just accepts it. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Take care of yourself. The line goes dead before I can respond, leaving me staring at my phone. That night, I sit by my small fire pit again, watching flames dance over split logs. Dad's call plays on repeat in my head. Not for what he said, but for what he didn't ask for. No pleas for money. No demands to fix their mess. Just an acknowledgement. It changes nothing and everything. I toss another log onto the fire, sparks spiraling up into the darkening sky. Their house is gone, their savings depleted, their golden sun vanished to Nevada. They're starting over at 60, working entry-level jobs they never planned for, living in a rental they never wanted. I should feel vindicated, watching the consequences they earned play out exactly as I predicted. Instead, I feel something unexpected. Freedom. Not from supporting them financially. I'd gained that the moment I paused that payment. This is different. Freedom from caring about their opinion, from seeking their approval, from measuring my worth against Tyler's chaos. I take a deep breath of smoke-tinged air and realize I'm smiling. Not at their downfall, but at my rise from beneath it. The next morning, I wake to a text from that cute barista, asking if I want to grab dinner sometime. I stare at it, surprised, then type back, definitely, before I can overthink it. At work, I tackle a project I've been putting off, finishing it with hours to spare. My boss notices, mentions potential for advancement if I keep it up. I thank her, confidence steady in my voice where uncertainty used to live. On my lunch break, I check my bank account out of habit. The savings continue to grow. Money that's mine to use as I choose. I scroll down to the mortgage payment history, now tucked away in past transactions. All those months, all that money flowing one way, while my life stayed on hold. I close the app and look out the break room window at the spring afternoon, people hurrying along the sidewalk below. For 2 years, I lived like their problems were mine to solve, their house mine to save, their choices mine to fix. Now I know better. I've got a date this weekend, a promotion on the horizon, and a bank account that serves my future, not their past. They'll figure out their lives or they won't, but either way, I'm building mine. As I head back to my desk, phone buzzing with concert details from Mike, I realize something. When Mom said I was tougher, she was right, just not in the way she meant. I was tough enough to carry them for years, and now I'm tough enough to set them down and walk away. That night, I fall asleep with the windows open, spring air cooling my apartment. No missed calls, no urgent texts, no weight of their disaster pressing down. Just the quiet certainty that tomorrow belongs to me. Not as their safety net, not as their backup plan, just as Jake, standing on his own, finally free.